subtracting fractions. 5/6 minus 1/3. Subtracting fractions, you follow the same rules as adding fractions. First, we write them vertically. 5/6 minus 1/3. If the denominators are not the same, then we find the least common multiple. Take my m. I put my denominators over here. These are my denominators. I'm going to find the multiples of my denominators. 6, 12, 18, 24. 3, 6, 9, 12. 6 is my least common multiple. There's also 12, but that's not the smallest one. So I'm going to use 6. Write them vertically. Find the LCM, least common multiple. Now we're going to make equivalent fractions. So 6 goes into 6 one time. 6 times 1 is 6. Whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. 5 times 1 is 5. 3 goes into 6. 1, 2 times. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. 1/3 is equivalent to 2/6. Whatever we multiply the denominator by, we have to multiply the numerator by. Now, we wrote them vertically. We found the least common multiple. We made equivalent fractions. At this point, we regroup if necessary. If the numerator on the top is smaller than the numerator on the bottom fraction, the one you're subtracting, then you're going to need to regroup. Here we can say 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. We subtract the numerators, the whole numbers, but never the denominators. So it's 3, 6. And finally we simplify. The greatest common factor here is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 5/6 minus 1/3 is 1/2. Let's try another one. 1 1/2 minus 3/4. First, we write them vertically. 1 1/2 minus 3/4. The denominators here are not the same, so we must find the least common multiple. I write my m. I put my denominators above it, and now I found my multiples. 2, 4, 6. 4, 8, 12. You can see that here is the smallest common multiple. My multiple is going to be 4. That is my common denominator. The number that I circle here is the number that I'm going to place in my denominator. Now I have to make equivalent fractions. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 goes into 4 one time. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. At this point, I notice that my denominators, I cannot subtract 3 from 2. 2 is smaller than 3. So I'm going to have to regroup. I'm going to borrow from the 1. This is now 1 2/4. I convert my mixed number to an improper fraction. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Now I can subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3. We subtract the numerators and the whole numbers, but never the denominators. We subtracted the numerators. There are no more whole numbers, so it's 3/4. And it doesn't need to be simplified. Let's try one more regrouping. Four and 1/5 minus 1 and 7/10. We wrote them vertically. We have to find our least common multiple. 5, 10. 5, 10, 15. 10, 20, 30. 10 is my least common multiple. That is also going to be my common denominator. 5 goes into 10, 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10. 1 times 2 is 2. 10 goes into 10 one time. 10 times 1 is 10. 7 times 1 is 7. I cannot subtract 7 from 2, so at this point I have to regroup. I am not going to use the entire 4. I'm going to borrow from the 4. The 4 becomes 3. This is now 1 2/10. 10 times 1 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 12 tenths. 12 minus 7 is 5. You only subtract the numerators. The denominator stays the same. And now we can subtract the whole numbers. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 and 5/10. 5/10 can be simplified. We can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 5, which gives us 2 and 1/2. Remember, write your fractions vertically, find your LCM, make equivalent fractions, regroup if necessary, then subtract your numerators, your whole numbers, but never your denominators, and then simplify.